Hey, what's up guys? This is Phil again. Today I'll be showing you how to make a glass doors with mullions. I got a bookshelf unit inside the house that I've been meaning to do something with it for a while now, so I just decided to make a couple glass shelves. I'm going to be rebuilding the interior of it because I used to have an aquarium there, so it's like all messed up. So enjoy the video. So the first thing I did when once I decided to make those glass doors was to start ripping the rails and stiles to the right width. In this case, it came out to 2 7/8 of an inch, based on the measurements of the lower doors that I had already built a long time ago. Because of the configuration of the cabinet, if you look at the end of the video, the upper opening it's wider than the lower opening, so I compensate for that and made the top uh, rails and stiles wider so it would match on the bottom. Then I just move on to my shaper, and the cutters was on the head already, so I just had to move it to the right height so I could run the pieces for the rails and stiles. Once I had all the pieces done for the rails and stile, it was time to move on to the mullion part of the doors. I ended up milling some pieces to 1.25 inches. Because this is such a massive door, I ended up making the mullions a little wider than I typically do. But I think it fit nicer with the proportions of the size of the door. So I ended up milling the stuff to 1.25 inches, and by the time I finished running through the shaper, it came out to around 1.125 inches, which I think it looked nice. Once I had the pieces planed, all I had to do was to drop the power feeder and get the power feeder closer to the fence. The height was already set because I had run the doors and stiles. So all I had to do was to reset the power feeder, make sure that was close enough to the fence so it wouldn't rock the pieces, and I started running all the pieces for the mullions. After I finished milling all the mullion pieces, I just went back to the table saw and start pre-cutting everything to size to the right length and width. I started by cutting the stiles, then I moved on to cutting the rails, and then I went back to the shaper again. And when I go back to the shaper, when I have to reset the shaper to the right height to cope the pieces, I always make sure that I'm trying to make the joints as good as I possibly can make it. So the profiles will match, and it will save me time on sanding the doors later. Now there are a few ways that you can build doors when you're coping it like this. I personally like to use the sled, and I use a backup piece so it doesn't blow, it doesn't give you the blowout. But I know some guys, I work with some guys that they like to do the coping first, then they run the piece in a monolithic fence. That will give you the same result. Now, one of the most important things when you're making glass doors, me personally, I always try to make the doors um, as close as in size like possibly can, because ultimately it avoids you from make different pieces, different lengths and different widths. So in this case was two doors of the same size. I made sure that they were exactly the same size, that when I figure out the measurements for the mullions on one door, I just did a bunch of them and ended up using for both doors. So that's the most important part. Keep the doors the same size when you're doing pairs of doors. Make sure that they come out exactly the same measurement, so it will save you a lot of time in figuring out mullion sizes, different mullion sizes, and later on. Then about 4 hours later, I ended up unclamping the doors and fitting the door to the opening. Because it was a site-built cabinet, the opening of the cabinet wasn't square. So I ended up making the doors to the exact same size as the opening, and I went and fit the door to the opening, which I had to scribe a little bit on the doors. I also ended up using 3 hinges per door because of the massive size of the door and the weight of the glass. The European hinges, they're rated for a certain amount of weight, so I just ended up using 3 hinges per door just to be sure. So give it a like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.